amazing viewers. I welcome you to Property Nugget, brought to you by One World Expertise Properties Agency. And my name is Duduzile Monica Mbini. As the usual, I'm joined by an expert who will answer all the questions regarding today's topic of conversation. And remember to engage with us on our commentary section. Hello, how are you?
Good, thanks, Didi. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Please introduce yourself. Who are you and what do you do?
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Anshal Gadinger. I'm a professional architect. I studied in Bloemfontein, worked in Cape Town and London for quite big multidisciplinary offices. I moved to Middelburg to be with my husband, and we've been living here for the past 9 years. I took the big step of opening my own practice in 2019. I have to say, running a small business is extremely hard but very rewarding, as it allows me to be there for my 2 small children at the moment.
Wow, that's amazing. Such a nice description. You had a very, very much long experience. That's nice. So, can you tell us what is an architect, and if one at home is watching and they're actually aspiring to become one, what steps should they take?
So, to become an architect, well, firstly, we have different registration categories, and there are different roads to follow. So, if you want to become a draftsperson, you can take your normal grade 12 certificate and work at a practice for about 3 years, write an exam, the first hour of the exam, and then you would be allowed to register as a draftsperson.
Okay.
To become a full professional architect, you usually study at a university or a technical university. So I myself have a master's degree in architecture from a university. I then had to work for 2 years at practice and then write a 2-hour exam to be allowed onto the registration roll. So different roads, but different categories for those different roads to get to where you want to be.
Okay, so if the viewer is wondering what it is exactly.
Yo, that is such a loaded question. When you send me the when you send me the question,
simplest form.
So I think of myself as a custodian of dreams and ideas.
Yes.
You know, I'm here to help someone build the spaces that they will probably make the most of their memories in. You know, their children will grow up in this space. They will feel safe, comfortable, and most at home. So most people will say that an architect draws plans or an architect is a master builder. But in reality, it's much more than that. I help clients to really build the best possible project within their means, their scope, and I try to bring all of this together while looking at environmental factors, building regulations, property limitations, and also budget limitations. And then at the same time, I think specifically in South Africa, we have a very big component of social acceptability or social expectations actually. Where does your house or your project have to fit into the social genre almost?
Which makes sense.
Yes. So, not an easy question. We do draw plans, but we make people's dreams come alive.
As they've asked for.
Yes.
Alright, I know that there are types of architects. Which one do you classify yourself as?
So, I am a professionally registered architect.
Okay.
But initially, I really enjoy doing commercial projects and large-scale office building, housing, and that kind of thing. More recently, I've really been blessed with some private residential work. So I think if you live in a small town, you're expected to be able to do all kinds of projects. I do, however, think that I specialize, or what I enjoy doing the most is site development plans for large developments. I'm good at conceptualizing new ideas and new projects.
So your clients entrust you with the new ideas. They come to you for
Yes.
ideas and all of that. That's amazing. So what's the difference between a draftsman and an architect?
I think it mostly has to do with the roles and responsibilities within a traditional practice. I want to say not as small as mine because I do the work of a draftsman and an architect because it's only me. In an office environment, the architect would usually liaise with the clients, come up with most of the ideas and the concept and the sketch plans. And the draftsperson in the office would assist in detailing the building further and getting it ready to submit to the municipality.
So basically they do the nitty-gritties of the actual work.
Yes.
The final idea.
On a very practical level, their registration category differs from ours.
Okay.
So when a draftsperson opens their own practice, they are allowed to submit projects up to a certain scale.
Oh, okay.
So there's a small difference on a very practical level when a draftsperson has their own practice.
So what challenges have you faced as an architect throughout the years?
I think media and television, people see these grand
Fancy.
home makeovers.
Yeah.
And the first thing is we do not build in the same way as the people do in America. So people think that their house can also be transformed in a weekend, and it cannot.
Yeah.
It usually doesn't work that way. Then also as an architect, we have very little control, or there are a lot of things we cannot control. In the last 2 years since COVID, we've had quite a bit of issues with the municipality, between them closing for various reasons during COVID time and now with the municipality striking. And that has caused a lot of delays on projects, and clients a lot of the time think it's our fault, where it's, it's out of our control. And then I do not build myself. So I have to get a builder who sees the same vision as myself and who sees the same vision as a client. Without a good or a reputable builder, the project won't look the way it looked on the computer. So I think those are the best. And then I think the last thing is people think that they can build a massive mansion, but they only have the budget to maybe actually buy a caravan. So
How sad is that? So I heard you mentioning the difference between building in America and here. Why do you think that side is quicker than here? Is it the building material or what's the difference?
Yes, I think we have built a lot of our construction industry on labor-intensive forms of building, such as brickwork, a lot of concrete work. And in a way that's good because it creates a lot of jobs. It allows for a lot of skilled workers to have something to do. And our construction industry drives a large part of our economy. So I think in that way it's good, and we are building homes which are, if you use a brick, it's already fairly well insulated. So environmentally that's good. In America and those kinds of places, most of the residential work is timber frame buildings. So a timber frame is very easy to demolish or make a new door. With brickwork it takes a bit longer and you need to replaster it and so on. In those areas people are also very skilled when they're doing timber work, because with timber work you measure twice and cut once.
Okay.
Brickwork I think is a bit more forgiving.
Alright. Makes sense. So how do architects and agencies, real estate agencies work together?
Well, most of the time when we start a new large-scale project, especially residential or housing projects, we would ask the property agency, what are people in this area looking for? Are they looking for 2-bedroom houses is it an area with a lot of students, so we're only looking for one-bedroom units. We also work with property agencies to try and get us the best site for the best price. And then property agencies help us to sell the units when we're done.
Okay.
So I think they form quite a large part of the feasibility study.
They're very important.
Yes.
So, why should a client make use of an architect? What are the benefits?
I think if you are going to build costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
If you're going to spend that amount of money, I think you don't want to end up with a project that's less than, you know. I think we as architects, I myself, since I've started studying architecture, I've been in the industry for 20 years. There are things which I know to look out for. I think with anybody in any professional industry, you know the pitfalls. You know how to guide your client to get the best out of their site and out of their building.
So how do clients support a professional architect?
Nowadays it's quite simple. We have something that's called Privy Seal. So it's a QR code which a client can scan, and it takes him to the South African Council of Professionals, of Architectural Professionals. And on there you can see if your architect or draftsperson is in good standing with the Registration Council.
So do you guys send it to the clients?
They can request it.
Okay.
For myself, it's the Privy Seal sits in my email letter.
Alright.
So,
Okay, that's smart.
We have a professional registration number which can be looked up on the internet as well. But the QR code is quite easy to just scan.
Okay. Which is very convenient. So what do clients need to consider before building?
I think, firstly, what is the purpose of your building? Are you building this for your family? Is it okay for you to add in things which other people might not really enjoy, but which is really important for your family? Or are you building this to resell it later on? Because that already gives you a very good idea not to overspend on certain things, but to include things that the general public will enjoy more, will make your property more sellable. And then budget. Budget is extremely important.
Yeah.
You need to have at least 10% more than what you think of building for. Because you don't want to get to almost the end of your project and then you can't finish it.
So you basically need to plan prior.
Yes, you have to know what you want to do. And I think just to be honest with yourself and with your architect. You know, don't, because you're going to make a lot of work for yourself and for the architect. So think about what you want, what's your wish list, before you contact someone to come and assist you.
So you need to be introspective.
Yes.
And be calm and be sure. Don't do a rush work.
Yes.
Makes sense. So how important is a feasibility study before starting any project?
I would say it's extremely important. We have started with some large-scale developments where the developers thought they would do a residential development with housing on. We did 2 different kinds of housing types on the site. The client saw that neither of these housing types could work, and we switched that whole site into a commercial property, which is feasible, gives a good return on investment, and works better in that area. So that client had started to just build a residential space without doing feasibility first. He would have been stuck with 50 housing units with no one to live in. So,
it's a very crucial stage.
Yes, it is.
Sure. So what is that you've mastered throughout the years of being an architect?
I think if I'm truly honest, you never master anything.
You learn every day.
Yes, every project teaches me new things. But I think I've always been strong at conceptualizing and at ideas. So site development plans and feasibility studies, I think, is my strong point. And I really enjoy those. Yeah.
How have you dealt with difficult clients?
I think there are two types of difficult clients.
Okay.
There are clients who start with the words, I might be a bit difficult,
Okay.
but because they already realize it, it's actually easy to work with them.
Okay.
Because when you start to say, okay, so what are you difficult about? You can unpack it and you can meet the client's expectations. You get other clients who think that they are low maintenance. But
Get the opposite.
But you get the opposite because they are not able to tell you what is wrong. So for me, my fee scale works in various stages, and I do not ask any monies until a certain stage of the project is finalized. So I tell a client up front, I will start with the feasibility portion, and if I have done about 3 revisions on that feasibility and they're still not happy, we shake hands, we walk away because I cannot help them.
So there's no fee for the feasibility study?
It depends on large scale projects. I do ask money just to cover my costs for starting to do it, but it is not on the big fee scale. But for private residential clients, I always start with the initial phases of working, and then, as I said, if we can agree that this concept works for them, I ask the first money.
Alright. So if our viewers would like to make use of your services, where can they get you? Please send us your email and your socials if possible and your contact details.
I think it's easiest to send me an email at anshalarchitect@gmail.com. And I do have a bit of social media, I'm on Facebook and on Instagram, but I make less use of it because most of my clients come from referrals. I've seen the best clients are the ones coming from referrals, and also sometimes I put up things on social media, and then I will see a couple of months later someone built that exact house without having the details on it. So I prefer to be contacted via email. Then we can have a professional conversation around your project.
Can you repeat your email again for our viewers?
Yes, it's Anchal, which is ANCHEL, architect, ARCHITECT, @gmail.com.
Alright, thank you so much. That was really informative. Alright viewers, that is it from us. Remember to engage with us on our commentary section. It is definitely a bye for now till next week.